In the 25 years I've been a personal trainer, the first hour that you are together with that coach, doing a consultation, an assessment, and that workout, sets the trajectory and the pace to make the first month optimal, efficient, and moving toward progressive work that is the foundation for the change you're looking for. All right, so the first hour you're at Body Outfitters, few major goals. The sit down portion, which is the consultation, that's a conversation. And the three main things we're trying to walk away with are, where are you now? What have you tried in the past? And where do you want to go? Those all three are very, very important for a trainer building the next steps, especially the next steps after the assessment workout. So consultation, then at the same meeting, assessment workout. And it's literally those two things. So much of what we do is to first assess how your body moves and if you can get into optimal positions for exercises. In most situations, people with a little bit of coaching and a little bit of cueing or a little bit of regression can get in good positions that are worthy of loading. So that's the next part. Once the assessment is confirmed, someone can move through and show stability in positions, we start to load it so it starts to turn into a workout. Why? We need to see where the stability and where the range of motion starts to break down. Now, before that sounds scary, that's an intelligent, systematic thing where we're looking at things. We want there to be margin in the first workout, but we don't want to run you all the way to failure. So even if you want that, that's not the first meeting and the first workout. So again, it's an assessment workout because we have to put one before the other. My hope is that the assessment turns it into a workout, that you get a good understanding in that first meeting on what to expect from the intensity, what to expect from the conversation and interaction with your trainer, and hopefully you're excited about moving forward and just putting another layer on that. I think the critical questions are in, tell me about your exercise history, because good or bad history, we're still gonna assess you, but I want to understand what experiences you've had. And one of those reasons is so I'm not stupid and repeat things that you had a bad experience with. I want your first experience to be positive. Another one is definitely around, some people will say that they don't have orthopedic problems, like joint problem, blah, blah, blah. I stop at that point and go, this is your moment. This is your time to tell me about all the little things. I want to know about the shoulder, the elbow, the hip. I want you to feel high maintenance right now. My job is to move toward that high maintenance and reality check it and try to solve those for you so that I can wear a cape and be Superman. So I want to know. Now, final question before we get up and move, before I explain kind of what the process is why are you here? It takes a lot of courage to walk into a personal training studio. And maybe it didn't for you, but a lot of our people walk in, stand on our black mat for the first time, and it took some guts to do that. And we are ready to move toward that in a way that sees the person and understands that it did take courage to walk in. It's not an ice cream shop, right? This is a place where you're asking for help, and you're asking for help with something that could be incredibly sensitive. Your physique, your body, how you move, how you feel. A skilled trainer is going to have to look through two specific lenses as they're working with somebody, especially for the first time. This is true all the time, but especially the first time. There's a technical lens and a tactical lens. Technical, it's very geometry, physics, anatomy, almost like if I had a skeleton in front of me or a muscle system, a body without skin. And while that can be a little crude, we're looking at the mechanics of the body. That has to be true because that's what we're trying to influence, is the machine. That's the technical part. If we only do the technical though, we forget that there's a person attached to that. And so navigating the technical to be accurate and true, and then the tactical, is there a connection? How's that person responding to the demand, the position? Do you see confidence, or is the person moving reluctantly? Lots of people move reluctantly because it's new. They have a lot of history in their body, and that could be pain or just things that they go, I don't know, I've heard that, if we do squats, it hurts your knees, or whatever their history is. So the tactical part is navigating the individual, some of their biases that are real, and moving them into and reality checking those, working with the person that's there, not just the vehicle or the machine that's there. We want you to learn how to work your machine better so that you can understand what it can do, and you can understand then what its tolerance is, and hopefully that tolerance is going up so that you can go do cooler things, hopefully at a high level without pain. And again, I use the word competence and competence. When you start to understand that you're moving competently, you start to believe it, your confidence goes up because your knowledge goes up of what you can actually do. So back to the first question. Technical, yes, we have to nail that down. That's looking at joint angles and things like that. But there's a person there. And so you might have to learn how to individually work with that person and what they bring to the table in order to move forward together. We're your mirror. If you were standing in front of a mirror and did a squat, you would see the obvious things that move. You might even for the first time notice, if you had never done this before, if you start moving in front of a mirror like doing a squat, your hips might go to the right, but you don't feel that because your system is adapted to something. If we see that, the first question is, what is happening? And then two is, why is that happening? As counsel, we have to, on the fly, recognize it, reality check why, because the first thing I'm gonna do is give you basic cues, tell you about it, maybe have you shift your weight and see if it didn't fix it, right? But if not, maybe you have something downstream or upstream that you might have actually mentioned in the consultation. So now I go, oh, this is real, it's actually happening here. So as counsel, just like we expect to be able to uncover some things and give you an advantage that you couldn't claim on your own. Some people come in because they go, I value working out, but my back hurts, but I can't not work out. Show me how to merge these two things. We're awesome at that. Some people come in and do that with a different part of their body. Some people come in and go, I've been working out fine, I don't have any pain, but I'm not getting results. So we can unpack what you've done and then go, oh, let's add this to it. And that could be several things: intensity, variety, food, right? Recovery tactics. Just like when I go to my financial advisor, I don't know the things. I'm like, here's the things I'm doing. I expect them to give me some things to be like, maybe even I like direct, be like, stop doing that, do more of this. And did you know that this is happening here and this is gonna affect you? And I go, no, and I wouldn't have known that if you wouldn't have brought that to the table. And that's where the value is to me, or else I'd probably just do it myself. But we expect to bring something unique to the table, and we expect you to connect with it and value it, or there's not really a good match there. Life, right? Your patterns throughout the day are more repetitive than you think. And if you start thinking back, you can go, oh, that's actually true. Pay attention when you drive, your driving position, but pay attention to the road. It's very normal for people to have a knee that just drops to the outside. If you spend a lot of time like that, it is going to bias and run up into your SI joint. Is it going to create pain? Maybe not. It doesn't have to be symptomatic to be true to the system. If you have a bias or a dysfunction in the system, we're going to make you stronger. That's our main job. If we strengthen the bias, strengthen the dysfunction, we could be the reason why it does become symptomatic, because the body becomes asymmetrical in scenarios that it's supposed to be balanced from side to side, from front to back, from a torsion standpoint. Common scenario that create biases. Children. Okay, and we can default to the lady first, okay? So, mom, if you're right hand dominant, it is normal that your little person goes to which side? Other side, why? You need this hand for work, this side awesome to stabilize. When you add a job upstream of the waist that is here, you have to counterbalance it. You have to teeter-totter it. So your body naturally throws your left hip under, because ladies have hips. That's important to the story. So then you naturally shift over under that little person, and eventually as they get bigger, they're not in your arm, they're on your hip for, honestly, as long as you want them to and can, because you like carrying your kids around. I know there's some argument there. I have a few kids, so guys, So that shows up in a shift. It's really normal in a consultation and assessment for us to see a shift. And I can almost guess if somebody didn't tell me if they have little people, especially if they have multiple, because of that. And that's actually super easy to fix, because the first thing you did was you weren't aware of it, right? Now, guys who carry their kids a lot, if right hand dominant, then left arm little person, guys don't have hips. Again, important to the story. So do they shift their hips underneath? No, there's nothing there to shift. So we raise and turn as they get heavier. So we develop an elevation and a torsion that starts to show up in our pressing moves. So you could have your dominant side, one side like to extend more, and we actually have to fix that. We have to identify it first, and then we have to do it. It's really, really common that they develop a torsion to counterbalance this weight, especially as it gets into 20, 30, I have a 45 pounder. We're right at the edge of that one though. He needs to get on the ground. That's just one example. Other life things are, the office is the easiest one, right? The office is in front and below. Even at our best efforts, gravity's working against us and it starts throwing our head down, and guess what? Our vision gets worse, so what do? We lean in a little bit, and then we get little screens, and we used to love big screens, but now we're okay watching a whole show right here, and you don't think you're naturally going to return to fetal position? What does everybody do when they're done with their show? What you should do is go, right? Why? Your body is dying to do this. Well, reps and reps and reps, not just reps, but gravity never stops, so it continues to do this. And if you don't do something intentional to strengthen the backside and lengthen, important, strengthen, lengthen, to reclaim that position, it's gonna win. Someone brings known problems to me, pains specifically, let's just aim at pains. You have to take them into consideration. In fact, I put a force field around them. So if it's your low back, first thing I ask is above the belt or below the belt, left side, right side, or both. That way, that scenario, that boom, this is where it is, tells me what to not do. Because in that first workout, I'm not gonna reality check your pains. You're already biased. You're already expecting this to hurt you. Okay, that's not your fault. You're in protection mode. You're in new turf. You don't know me, you don't trust me. And it's my job to go, I can work around that. That's not complicated. If it's a shoulder, it's not complicated. Knees, not complicated. Over time, we have to move toward it. So maybe second workout, maybe a little bit, third, fourth, but what we can't do is leave something behind. If we continue to work around something, put a force field around it, and work everything else, guess what we're doing? We're just galvanizing the relationship around a weak spot and making everything else around it stronger. This is not gonna turn out well. So at some point, if it doesn't come along, if we don't target it some, and again, if your back hurts, the first thing we don't do is move it, we stabilize it. We teach you in your core how to recruit deep core muscles so that you can take your own internal weight belt and tighten it secure. Because stability is the foundation for all mobility and movement. Following the assessment workout, we have identified categories, things that are moving great, and it's ready to load them intelligently. Things that need some work before we can add a load, especially if it's one of those movements that's critical to your goals. The other thing we've identified is some of your initial intensity and willingness. I put this on a grid a lot where I say someone's ability can only be accessed if they're willing to, and your willingness will increase into that second session. There'll be a little more trust, there'll be a little more confidence. You have a little bit of soreness, and what's great about soreness between the first and second workout is connection. You can go, and the goal is like a level 1, level 2 out of 10 soreness that you move and go, oh, I can feel that, I can feel that. And then you can start to connect with your body and what it does. And that shouldn't last more than 48 hours. It should be something we call, it's like good chili. If you warmed it up, it would actually be better. I don't know if that makes sense, but it makes sense to me. So between the first and second session, we've identified those areas. When you come back, we are moving first into loading the things that worked last time. I want to start making some progress. Two, we're gonna have assignments. Maybe you already left with some, but you're definitely gonna have some to up level, especially if it's a mobility issue and a major joint, especially a hip and a shoulder. And again, they're version 1.0 of that. We also are gonna probably do some of those in the session. And then 3, we're gonna introduce a couple new things in the second workout. But the second workout is not all new stuff. I have a generic template. It's smart, but it's just a template. It says like row, bench press, just an exercise list. So if I were to apply that template, it has new life from person to person based on goals and based on their movement quality. So if you said squat, do you know how many variations of squat there are? A lot. We use about 8, and you really lean into about 3 that are your feature ones, because if we introduce all these new ones at the same time, you're not gonna have mastery of the movement. It's harder for us to gauge your progress because it's actually harder to progress. So, template applied to 2 or 3 people that are different movers are gonna have different progressions in those movements. So there's a more advanced level of squat, and then there's another more advanced level of squat. So in the progression or the skill level, they can be very different. There's also at least 1, 2, 3 regressions of a movement that have a vision for, you're not here yet, but I need to regress until success. That's a common phrase I use. We regress until success, that's competence. Then we move it up, then we progress, and we try to recapture that next move, next move, next move. So a template, if used similar from client to client, will have so much variety from session to session, because technically there might be similarity, but there's also a tactical difference because it's a completely different person. I could run a template all day long. I could run 50 people through it, and not one of those sessions would look, sound, or feel the same. So many assumptions. You're gonna get stronger. You're gonna get stronger. If you are squatting 25s and you move to 35s and you move to 55s, you can progress. You could be potentially multiplying and strengthening a dysfunction though, that you can't see because you're not getting feedback. You're gonna get stronger if you progress in strength training. What are you strengthening? You could create your own problem, but you could also skip that part and have someone who knows what they're doing watch you move and bring you the knowledge that could just take that risk and just make it a non-issue at all. We've been doing this a really long time, and you can look at it and go 16 years. I've been doing it longer than that, longer than Body Outfitters existed. But if you look at the number in those years of consultations, assessment workouts that have been performed, we have figured this out. We have a known product, and it is not just known in the technical piece, like what happens in order, but also our ability to cater it to the individual. But I also understand that every person that walks into the studio is making a commitment, and that they're walking in and they're taking their trust and they're potentially hesitantly handing it to us, and we treat it intentionally and delicately. People walk in, they've got a lot of history, they might have had a lot of failures, they might have just hit this wall where they go, it's finally time, and they could actually be frustrated at either their discipline or something that happened in their life. I respect the feeling of that nervousness, it's real, but I also would say every great journey starts with somebody moving out of their comfort zone, okay? One of my favorite quotes is, ships are safe in harbor, but that's not what ships were built for.